Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at the bullet hell shooter extravaganza, known as TriggerHeart Excelica for the Dreamcast. This game was developed and published by Warashi, though the arcade version was actually published by Sega, and it was released in 2007. Just like Chaos Field, Raturgy, and a whole host of other shooters, this is a game that was released on the Dreamcast well after its demise, and while it never had a physical release outside of Japan, it was made available on Xbox Live Arcade in 2008, with updated visuals but missing a couple of gameplay modes. On the surface, TriggerHeart Excelica is a fairly standard bullet hell shooter in that it's very challenging and often visually cluttered by an obnoxious amount of bullets. You have two characters to choose from who have two different shot types and screen-clearing bombs. One feature that sets this game apart, though, is the anchor shot ability, which allows you to latch on to enemies. When you've got a hold of them, you can use them as a shield and rack up some bonus points in the process, or the more obvious option, use them as a projectile. You can actually swing your enemies around like a hammer throw and launch them in whatever direction you want. You will need to get accustomed to the momentum though, which changes with the size of each enemy, and larger enemies do take longer to capture. For enemies that can't be captured, you can use your anchor to lock onto them and deal a little extra damage. Aside from the anchor ability, this is just an all-around fun and challenging shooter. There are three gameplay modes to choose from: the original arcade mode, the even more difficult arranged mode, and the story mode, which tells the tale of the two playable characters, Excelica and Cruel Tear, who are warped to Earth from their home galaxy, where they were at war with an army of robots. And now that war has been brought to Earth, where the robots are led by Tear, the evil TriggerHeart. The story mode and the arranged mode were both removed from the XBLA version. Regardless of which mode you're playing, this is a really enjoyable game. It's very challenging, though there are a few different difficulty levels and even a training mode to get you acclimated. The anchor shot is a cool mechanic that mixes the gameplay up a bit. Though I personally play mostly without using it, I did think it was pretty cool. Overall, while this game doesn't get the recognition that some other Dreamcast shooters like Ikaruga or Gigawing do, I think it definitely should because it's a lot of fun and it plays really well. The graphics are really the only area where I think TriggerHeart Excelica falls a little flat. They're not bad, but they are kind of bland. There isn't really a ton of color aside from the bullets, and the stages aren't really very elaborate in their design. The enemy designs are kind of stock as well, but I do like the large boss enemies, and the designs of the TriggerHearts themselves are pretty cool. It's a very well drawn anime style, so not bad graphics, just not very impressive. I usually like my shooters to look a little flashier. I do like the soundtrack though. It's pretty much non-stop techno and synth music, which while I typically don't listen to those styles of music by themselves, they do complement shooters rather well, so on the whole, the production quality does get a thumbs up from me, but not a strong thumbs up. This one's really all about the gameplay. I can comfortably recommend this game to shooter fans. It's fun and really well made. Copies of the Dreamcast version can be rather expensive online, usually somewhere between $80 and $100, but there is an updated version on the PS2 called TriggerHeart Excelica Enhanced, and it's actually much cheaper, usually about $30 or so. Plus, like I said, it's also available on XBLA, So you've got some options if you'd like to give this one a try, and really, why wouldn't you? It's a shooter starring anime girls in form-fitting fighter ships. It's TriggerHeart Excelica, and it's pretty rad.